Okay, so today's review is to just practice working with discount, to practice working with tax, tip, and markup, which was our lesson from the last couple days of class here. So for this first example, you have a $2.95 notebook with 5% tax. You are going to go ahead and calculate what would be the final cost after the tax gets added on. So for this particular problem, if you were a method 1 person, you're going to change the 5% to a decimal. You're going to multiply it by the $2.95, which will get you rounded 15 cents tax. And the reason I say rounded is because on my calculator, this is what I see. Money goes to here, which means we have to look at the next number to tell us if we're rounding up or leaving it the same. So we have 15 cents tax, so we have $2.95 plus the 15 cents tax gets added on, and we have $3.10 as our selling price. If you were method 2, you would have done 1.05 times $2.95, and that would also give you $3.10. Next example, you have a $28 lunch, and you are going to leave a 15% tip. What is the total cost? So again, method 1, 0.15 times $28 is going to give you a $4.20 tip. And you would go ahead and add that back onto your $28, giving you a total of $32.20. If you're a method 2, you would have added 100% to the 15, therefore giving you 115%, which would change to 1.15 times 28, which would also give you $32.20. In this example, we have a $30 lunch. We're going to have 6% sales tax and an 18% tip. So this one I'm not going to actually, I'm going to grade you on it, but I'm going to walk you through the first steps and then have you do the final step. So when we have tax and we have tip, the crazy part is the tax gets calculated on the $30, but the tip also gets calculated on that $30. So we kind of have to do them at the same time. So we're going to do tax, and we're going to do tip, and then we bring everything together as a total. So tax, we're going to actually use method 1 here. So 6% would be 0.06 times $30, and for the tip, we're going to have 0.18 times the $30 lunch as well. So we're going to use method 1 just to make this a little bit easier. When we multiply these, we get $1.80 in tax, and when we multiply these, we get a $5.40 tip. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to do the final step here. To get your total, you would have to add everything together. So you have your $30 lunch, your $1.80 for tax, and your $5.40 for tip. So you're going to add those up, and then you're going to select the correct answer. And for this one, when you do add them all together, you should end up with $37.20. In the next one, a $62.25 karaoke machine with 60.5% markup. What would be the selling price? So regardless, if I do method 1, I'm going to get $37.66 as my markup. Please be aware when you do this one, it's 0.605. Or if you're a method 1er, or if you're a method 2er, you're adding it on. So you're going to have 1.605 for method 2. Regardless, your final cost is going to end up being $99.91 when you add it to the original price of the karaoke machine. Next example, this one is working backwards, which is what we just talked about in class. So grab your notes before you try to attempt this one. Target sells this pretend doctor kit for $19.99. They have a 47% markup. How much does Target purchase this item for? So remember, they are doing 147% of what they paid for it because they paid 100%. For the item, and they add the 47% markup. So they've paid 147% of the original. And once they pay that, that is equal to your $19.99. So set up your equation and go ahead and solve for the original price for target. So with this, 147% becomes 1.47. The original we don't know, so we call it X, and we know that their new price is $19.99. So we divide both sides by 1.47, and we get that X is equal to, I get 13.598, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go ahead and round it to $13.60 as the original price for Target. And next example you have is another working backwards one. So this one I'm not going to give you as much guidance to start, but my receipt from the hair salon says $37.10 after PA sales tax, which this is going to be 6%. What was my cost before tax? So remember, we're actually kind of using method 2 here to set this up. So because you have already added on the sales tax here, this is my equals number, you have paid 106 or 1.06% of your original cost. So 1.06x is equal to your new cost. So we're going to divide by 1.06, and we get x equals $35 for the cost of the haircut before tax. You have one more follow-up question here. If I want to tip 20%, what is the amount for tip? And remember, you tip on the haircut cost, which was $35. So you're trying to leave a 20% tip on $35. So 20%, we're looking for the amount for the tip. So we're just going to do 0.20 times $35, and we end up with $7 is the amount for our tip here.